everybody, to Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I am Savage Hound Dusk, and today we will be playing through perhaps one of my absolute favorite video game trilogies ever made. It's not flawless by any means. Oh, am I a little bit quiet? Did I? Wonder if that's part of the issue. See if I can get some audio balancing here. Okay, let's go ahead and reduce the audio on the Elgato here just a little bit. There we go. Hopefully that'll help it a little. Let's see, where's my mic? No, my mic is at full volume. Okay. I'm not sure what's causing the quiet issue. So, before we get started, I suppose I should answer a couple of potential questions. There might be a few if you've never played this series. First of all, what is Mass Effect? It is a third-person RPG shooter series where you play as a created character whose last name is Shepard, so that everyone can actually basically call you by name, as your character is the centrifugal force in a galaxy full of alien species and rampant political issues and discourse. And also, your galaxy is about to get attacked by a sentient race of machines that are hellbent on obliterating all life. It's an incredibly well put together trilogy. It has its issues, it does, and I'll try to point some of them out. In fact, I would argue Mass Effect 1 is probably the best in terms of story and narrative, but is easily the worst in terms of gameplay as I see it, of the three, and it still has pretty rock solid gameplay overall, I would say. I don't think it's a bad game by any stretch, so let's go ahead and get started.
Welcome to Alliance Military Database. Classified information requested.
Come here, Pebbles.
Establishing secure connection.
Hey, come here. Come up
Secure connection confirmed.
here. Come on. Yeah, come up here. Okay, so you can pick whether or not you want to be John Shepard or Jane Shepard, essentially, to start. You can choose your own particular gender between the two, obviously, that were around when this game was made. But what we're going to do is we're going to manually construct our character.
Please log in to access your profile.
Come on, Pebbles. There you go.
Warning, data corruption detected. Please reconstruct profile. Confirm pre-service history.
So the way this game works is when you construct a custom character and you don't just take one of the two presets that are immediately available to you, neither of which are bad, the game is going to ask you to select a pre-service history, and then it is going to ask you to select a psychological profile. The pre-service histories are one of three different types. The psychological profile is also one of three different types. Each one of them has minor effects on what you are going to be doing over the course of the game. Neither of them have major effects, but they can alter certain side quests and even produce certain side quests. Spacer. Both of your parents were in the Alliance military. Your childhood was spent on ships and stations as they transferred from posting to posting, never staying in one location for more than a few years. Following in your parents' footsteps, you enlisted at the age of 18 and have been an Alliance military operator since. The Alliance is essentially the name of the official human government faction's military. So the Alliance military is basically, hi, you represent humanity in the galaxy. Colonist. You were born and raised on Mindwar, a small colony in the Attican Traverse. When you were 16, slavers raided Mindwar, slaughtering your family and friends. You were saved by a passing Alliance patrol, and you enlisted in the military a few years later. Earthborn. You're an orphan raised on the streets of the great megatropolises covering Earth. You escaped the life of petty crime and underworld gangs by enlisting in the Alliance military when you turned 18. So all three of these are going to impact minor outfitting. One is boring and the other two are depressing. Well, Earthborn's depressing in a way because you basically spent a life as a criminal to survive, and you end up, you're like, fuck this shit, I'm out, and then you went to join the military so you could get away from it. As a colonist, you lost your family and your friends, and then you're like, I'm not letting this happen to anybody else ever again, and you join the military. Spacer, you come from a military background with military family, and because it's in your blood, you were just like, fuck it, I'll join the military myself. The downside to being a spacer is that you never really, because you never spent more than a few years in any one position for too long, you kind of have what I like to call military brat syndrome. And what that typically means, I don't mean that as a derogatory comment, and I'm sure somebody might take it that way, but effectively what that means is because your parents are constantly moving around, you didn't really have any long-lasting friendships. Because you were never able to actually stay for too long to form long-lasting connections with people, because obviously if you're moving constantly, you're not going to. I have gone with Colonist on a few instances, but Earthborn is usually the one that I take because it actually adds a side quest to you at some point. So we're actually going to go with Earthborn.
Profile.
Psychological profile. Soul survivor. During your service, you were sent a mission you were sent on went horribly wrong. Excuse me. That is not a very well worded sentence. Jesus Christ. Trapped in an extreme survival situation, you had to overcome physical torments and psychological stresses that would have broken most people. You survived while all those around you fell, and now you are alone. Now you alone are left to tell the tale. So basically, you went into a mission and all of your squad mates died, and you managed to live. War hero. Early in your military career, you found yourself facing an overwhelming enemy force during the Skillian Blitz. You risked your own life. Oh god, I dropped my controller. You risked your own life to save your fellow soldiers and defeat the enemy despite impossible odds. Your bravery and heroism have earned you medals and recognition from the Alliance fleet. Ruthless. Throughout your military career, you have held fast to one basic rule: get the damn job done. You've been cold, calculating, and brutal. Your reputation for ruthless efficiency makes your fellow soldiers very wary of you. But when failure is not an option, the military always goes to you first. This is built to basically decide, are you good? Are you an asshole? Or are you just somebody with a ridiculous amount of survival and tactical skill? And your morality is kind of completely subjective. Now, I'm a real serious dick, but there's only so far that I'm willing to go whenever it comes to being a ruthless bastard. A lot of people like to lean Renegade when they play this game. I'm not going to be one of them. I tend to lean Paragon.
Confirm military specialization.
Okay, military specialization. There are 6 classes in this game of Soldier. And each class has its own specialization, its own pros and cons and skill sets and bonuses and whatnot. So we're going to go through each one of them, and I'll kind of give you guys a bit of an overview as to how you're going to end up playing the game. If you want to be... So let's go over the description for each one as we go for starters. Soldier. Soldiers are combat specialists ideal for the front lines of a firefight. Soldiers have improved health, can specialize in use of all weapon types, start with the ability to wear medium armor, and can train in the use of heavy armor. So, what a soldier is your basic bread and butter weapon specialist. If you want to focus on using guns to solve every problem in combat and wear the biggest, heaviest armor and have the highest health, this is the class you take. It's kind of the game's equivalent of a fighter in Dungeons and Dragons, for anybody who watches this that's familiar with that. Engineer. Engineers are tech specialists using holographic omni tools. They can decrypt security systems, repair or modify technical equipment, disrupt enemy weapons and shields, and heal their squad. Engineers can only wear light armor and specialize in the use of pistols. So, the game says that they specialize in pistols. Let me make this clear. In the first Mass Effect, you have access to every weapon in the game, no matter what class you are. However, there is a skill for each weapon type in the game. Assault rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, and pistols. Most classes are only going to actually have skills in a couple of weapons. Engineers and adepts only really have skill with pistols, because what these classes are is they are caster classes. Instead of being what you would call a typical sorcerer, the engineer is the tech specialist. This guy is going to use technology to his advantage to solve any problem. And you will rely on a lot of special abilities and skills to weaken enemies, disrupt their combat function, break their shields, and in some cases shock or disable them so that your weapons or your teammates can mow them down. This is a support-focused class. Adepts. Adepts are biotic specialists. Through upgradable implants, they can use biotic powers to lift and throw objects, shield squad mates, or disable or destroy enemies. They only wear light armor and specialize in the use of pistols. Soldier is the better of them all. I'm inclined to disagree. I actually prefer playing as an adept in this game. I do admit, though, I think Soldier kind of has an unfair advantage in some ways. So what a biotic adept is these guys have access to a power called Mass Effect Field Generation, and essentially what this does is it allows them to lift enemies off the ground, make them helpless, throw them like rag dolls, use warp fields to literally rip you apart at a molecular level, and biotic barrier fields to reinforce their defenses so that they can tank a heavy amount of gunfire, or in some cases, even tank explosions. The downside to this class is that they're light armor restricted and pistol restricted, just like engineers. They're another type of caster like engineers, but you could think of these guys as kind of the magic user of the Mass Effect universe. Infiltrators. Infiltrators are combined combat and tech discipline abilities to specialize in killing or disabling enemies at long range. They're trained to use Omni tools and focus on decryption and offensive abilities rather than healing. They can specialize in pistols or sniper rifles and wear medium armor. So infiltrators, if you're going for like pure sniper, this is what you take. Infiltrators are one of the least durable classes. In a way, they're kind of the rogue or ranger of the universe. They don't tank very well, and they don't take a lot of hits very well. But there are few classes that can rival them for raw damage, because these guys can pick people off at extreme distance, and they do some serious pain. The problem that this class has is that while they're excellent with tech skills and combat abilities, they're not as powerful at either one as a soldier or engineer would be. However, they're actually a pretty good class, and in particular in Mass Effect 2, they can actually be one of the most overpowered classes in that game. Sentinel. Sentinels combine biotic and tech skills. Typically, they use biotic abilities and advanced healing skills to defend allies, though they can disrupt opponents with biotic or tech-based attacks. They're more efficient at tech attacks and biotics than various other classes, but they have an expense, and it's their combat proficiency. They can only wear light armor, and they receive 0 specialized weapon training. So, Sentinels are defensive casters and support casters. This is a class you use to heal your allies, disable enemy defenses, buff your allies' defenses, and break down enemies so that your allies can mow them down. You take this class if you want to tank and distract whilst also breaking down and weaken. The downside of this class is because they start with no weapons training, you actually kind of have to give them weapons training in New Game Plus runs or supplemental New Game runs by earning the loyalty of squad mates in their story modes in a previous playthrough. Otherwise, they will receive no benefits to their weapon skills at all, which means they're equally good with every weapon they carry, but they're also equally bad with every weapon they carry. However, when it comes to holding the line, no class does it better than the Sentinel. Very few classes can break down a Sentinel's defenses with anything resembling ease or decency. And the few that can usually still have to exhaust a fair number of resources to do it. Vanguards. Vanguards are biotic offensive warriors. They combine biotics and weapons to take down opponents and are especially deadly at short range. They specialize in pistols and shotguns and wear medium armor. So what a Vanguard is think of these guys as the close combat brawlers or barbarians of this universe. These classes specialize in up-close offensive combat and personal beatdown skills. This is a class that will pull enemies out of cover, charge headlong into enemy combat after augmenting themselves with a biotic barrier, and using shotguns to blow people in half with raw power. This class is a biotic combat hybrid. The issue with Vanguards is that if they are kept at long range, they can't really do shit. Because they don't have much long-range weaponry or many powers that allow them to be effective at long range. In addition, they have no tech skills, so they need tech specialists to assist them. Honestly, I personally favor the Adept, and that's the class that I'm probably going to take. As you can see, I have a wide array of bonus talents. These are from my teammates, because I have beaten this game and earned the loyalty of myriad characters that you can be joined by. I am allowed a bonus talent of various types. Each talent has its pros and cons, and I'll go over them very briefly because I know we've probably all been waiting here for a few minutes. Electronics allows you to basically hack certain things. Decryption allows you to hack whatever electronics doesn't hack. Both of these have abilities that can be used in combat, but predominantly you use these to unlock safes, caches, and things like that for bonus loot. First Aid is a typical healing skill. You use this to regenerate the health of yourself and your allies without spending metagel using Unity. Shotguns, it literally is what it says on the tin. It's shotgun training. You take this if you are going to be using a class that doesn't have any weapon specializations and you want one. Yeah, this is ME1 from Legendary Edition. Assault rifles is the same thing. It's just for assault rifles. And then sniper rifles is also the same thing for, obviously, sniper rifles. Being a biotic specialist, none of these abilities are particularly useful to me. But I'll probably take assault rifles, just because assault rifles is really useful for holding ground. I might take electronics, though. We're not going to your mother's? Alright.
Confirm facial identification.
Oh, wow. That kind of sucks. Yeah, we got plenty of food right now. Oh, dear God. This face. I'm not going to get too crazy with this, because There's not really a need to. I am going to mess with my eye color, though. I really like the vibrant blue. At least my character doesn't look completely ridiculous.
Profile reconstruction complete. Identification confirmed.
Okay, so has me recalling my shepherd from my Mass Effect times. Had a shallow area where his cheek showed in his cheekbones. Yeah, that can happen sometimes. Like I'm always bad at facial reconstruction on a character. If I could have made him look like Leon S. Kennedy, I probably would have. Just because I think it's funny. Alright, so we'll just use Legendary Mode's leveling system just to see how it works. Because normally I just use Classic Mode for the dopamine, because I can. We're going to keep all this stuff on. I'm going to set the combat difficulty to normal, or I might just select Veteran. But most of the combat in this game is not that difficult. I have actually beaten this game on Insanity. I have virtually every trophy for this entire series. But yeah, no, like this isn't a challenge run anyway. I have beaten the entire trilogy on Insane, and I can definitely tell you, Insanity difficulty on these games is not very fun.
Well, what about Shepard? Earthborn, but no record of his family.
Doesn't have one. He was raised on the streets. Learned to look out for himself.
Yeah.
He proved himself during the Blitz. Held off enemy forces on the ground until reinforcements arrived.
He's the only reason Elysium is still standing.
We can't question his courage.
Humanity needs a hero. And Shepard's the best we've got.
I'll make the call.
In the year 2148, explorers on Mars discovered the remains of an ancient spacefaring civilization. In the decades that followed, these mysterious artifacts revealed startling new technologies, enabling travel to the furthest stars. The basis for this incredible technology controlled the very fabric of space and time, and it is called Mass Effect. I have beaten all three games on Insanity on both versions.
Transmission sequence. Commander?
I'll get to that here in a second. I'll let this cutscene play because I don't want to interrupt this cutscene. This is a good cutscene. And Legendary Edition is very good, by the way.
Calculating transit mass and destination. The relay is hot. Acquiring approach vector. All stations secure for transit. The board is green. Approach run has begun.
Oh god, he's gonna have 5 o'clock shadow the whole game because I forgot to take his scraggly ass, like, 5 o'clock shadow beard off. I apologize to everybody. I will remove that in Mass Effect 2.
Hitting the relay in 3,
I'm back
2,
here for about
1.
get off my desk.
Thrusters, check. Navigation, check. Internal emissions sync engaged. All systems online. Drift, just under 1,500 K.
1,500 is good. Your captain will be pleased.
I hate that guy.
Nihilus gave you a compliment, so you hate him.
You remember to zip up your jumpsuit on the way out of the bathroom? That's good. I just jumped us halfway across the galaxy and hit a target the size of a pinhead, so that's incredible. Besides, Spectres are trouble. I don't like having them on board. Call me paranoid.
You're paranoid. The Council helped fund this project. They have a right to send someone to keep an eye on their investment.
Yeah, that is the official story. But only an idiot believes the official story.
They don't send specters on shakedown runs.
So there's more going on here than the captain's letting on.
Joker, status report.
Just cleared the mass relay, Captain. Stealth systems engaged. Everything looks solid.
Good. Find a comm buoy and link us into the network. I want mission reports relayed back to Alliance Brass before we reach Eden Prime.
Aye, aye, Captain. Better brace yourself, sir. I think Nihilus is headed your way.
He's already here, Lieutenant.
Idiot.
Tell Commander Shepard to meet me in the comm room for a debriefing.
You get that, Commander?
He sounds angry. Something must have gone wrong with the mission.
Captain always sounds like that when he's talking to me.
Can't possibly imagine why.
Yeah, Turian and human relations are very shaky because of the First Contact War incident. So as far as what Mass Effect Legendary Edition does really well, all DLC is included in all 3 games, with one exception. The tower DLC for Mass Effect 1, where you're running through a bunch of simulations shooting stuff, that DLC is removed because they didn't have the source code, and it would have taken them basically a full 6-month overhaul to put it back in by rebuilding it from scratch. And honestly, I've seen people do videos of the DLC that didn't make it into this game. It's nothing special. It has absolutely no bearing on the story. It's not interesting. The only thing it was good for was farming endgame equipment, which you don't need anyway. In terms of Mass Effect 2, it adds everything in from Mass Effect 2, does it particularly well. The Mass Effect 3, all the DLCs for 3 are in the game. The only thing that they took out of Mass Effect 3 was the multiplayer and the multiplayer requirements for the way that war assets were handled in ME3. I'll talk about that when we get to ME3, but the multiplayer requirement that messed with the values of your war assets was removed, so you no longer have to play online in order to get your war assets to high levels in order to get a decent ending. The game also contains the expanded ending from the DLC patch that BioWare made, but the one major issue that Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition doesn't do is it doesn't actually fix the ending, because nobody liked the ending. So you are absolutely fair if you don't really care to play the game for that, but the game does add in everything else that the game had originally. It also adds in all of the DLC that is story-related. That includes the Citadel DLC, the From Ashes DLC that involves Javik and Javik as a squad mate, and the other DLCs that are weapon, tech, and equipment-based. The only thing that's not in the game as far as Mass Effect 3 is concerned is the multiplayer and the multiplayer war asset modifiers. Those have been completely fucking removed. And frankly, I don't feel like they should have been in the game in the first place. The multiplayer I actually enjoyed, but I think the multiplayer should have been fleshed out better over time, because it was fun, but it wasn't idealized properly, I don't think. And the fact that the multiplayer was basically loaded down with loot boxes that take forever for you to unlock everything really hurt me as far as ME3's multiplayer was concerned. There are a lot of classes in the multiplayer that to this day I never got to fuck with, because I was never able to play the game enough to get what I needed to unlock them, and I never got the RNG to favor me to unlock them. The multiplayer was very fun. I will give you that. Like, it was a really fun thing, but it was grossly mismanaged for microtransactions, and I hated that. Yeah. I did get to play some of the more fun classes, but I didn't get to play a lot of the fun classes like everything else. And because the game's multiplayer was so RNG focused, it was kind of bad. Having a multiplayer playing requirement really just kind of the multiplayer requirement just pissed, like, for the war asset value, that just pissed me off. I really felt like that was dumb, because basically unless you play all 3 Mass Effect games and do everything perfectly for war asset value, if you don't want to play the multiplayer, you can't get the good ending to the game. Or the quote-unquote best ending, because none of the game's endings are particularly good. And I'll talk about that when I get to the endings of Mass Effect 3.
Congratulations, Commander. Looks like we had a smooth run. Heading down to see the captain?
Sounds like you don't trust our Turian guest.
Sorry, Commander, just having a chat with Adams down at engineering. I didn't mean to cause any trouble. But you have to admit, something's odd about this mission. The whole crew feels it.
You think the Alliance brass is holding out on us?
If all we're supposed to do is test out the stealth system, why is Captain
You
Anderson
can do it without without multiplayer,
Spectres
but
are
it's
elite
extremely
operatives,
difficult,
top
and it
covert
requires
agents.
playing the first 2
Why send a
games
Spectre,
in a specific way.
on a shakedown run? It doesn't add up.
What do you know about the stealth systems?
I just know it masks our location from scans and sensors. Cutting-edge technology. The Normandy's the only ship with this prototype drive. But why are we fully staffed? A skeleton crew would be cheaper, less chance of security leaks too. Plus there's Nihilus. It's pretty obvious this shakedown run is just a cover.
For what?
Damned if I know, Commander. We're out here on false pretenses. I'm not a fan of being left in the dark.
Do you have a problem with the captain?
No, sir. But I can't figure out what he's doing here. Captain Anderson is one of the most decorated Special Forces officers in the service. If he melted down all his medals, he could make a life-size statue of himself.
That's pretty goddamn
Don't
impressive.
send a soldier like that on a do-nothing mission. He's treating this shakedown run too seriously. Something big is going on.
You don't trust Nihilus?
I don't like Turians in general. It runs in my family. My grandfather fought in the First Contact War. Lost a lot of friends when the Turians hit us.
That was 30 years ago. You can't blame Nihilus for that.
No, I guess not. But it still makes me nervous to have a Spectre on board. Especially a Turian. We're an Alliance vessel, human military, but Nihilus doesn't answer to the captain like the rest of us. Spectres operate outside the normal chain of command.
Yes, they
They
do.
don't come along just to observe shakedown runs. Nihilus looks like he's expecting some heavy action. I don't like it.
So, the First Contact War. I'm going to explain that to give context for anybody who watches this in the future, and for Lizzie who's watching this now. What exactly that is. Essentially what it was is we had a first contact with the Turians at some point after we discovered Mars and our technology started advancing, and it went really south. It led to a series of military engagements between both factions that led to a lot of people dying for little to no fucking reason. And we managed to actually hold ourselves pretty decently against the Turians, which says a lot, because the Turians are the military backbone of Council space and the Council military. And yeah, it was over a gross misunderstanding that led to the conflict. A lot of humans hate Turians because of that war, and because Turians killed a lot of humans in that war. But, I mean, once the war started, yeah, Turians were bound to start killing us and vice versa. A lot of Turians have kind of a negative disposition towards humanity for the same reasons. We killed a lot of Turians during the war. We didn't kill anywhere near as many, I believe, as we probably could have, but we still killed a lot of them. And that misunderstanding, a lot of them felt was just really bad. But it was a gross miscommunication. The other council races stepped in and helped us talk down the fighting, and they weren't the Imperium of Man. Yeah, exactly. There's your random 40K reference. I knew somebody was going to make it. But the First Contact War has a lot of humans that are kind of xenophobic towards Turians because of the conflict and because of a lot of the negativity that was spread between both of them. As far as the Turians...
I'll see if I can get some answers.
Good luck, Commander.
The fact that we were able to hold our own against the Turians as long as we did, and we were going to lose that war if somebody didn't step in, says a lot, because the Turians are a species that, first of all, I believe they're originally a type of evolved avian, and secondly, they're extremely militarical. They are a species that military protocol kind of dominates the vast majority of their culture and their lives. Virtually every Turian serves at least a couple of years in the military. I believe, when they hit a certain age, they are actually kind of more or less conscripted and made to go through boot camp and military training, and then basically do a tour of duty, which is about 1 to 5 years of service, and then they're allowed to leave the military if they want, or go career if they want after that and re-enlist. They are extremely tactically prone, they're technologically very efficient, and militarily speaking, when it comes to frontline combat, the only thing that tends to beat Turians are Krogan. And we'll see why Krogan are definitely to be feared.
What do you think, Commander? We won't be staying on Eden Prime too long, will we? I'm itching for some real action.
I sincerely hope you're kidding, Corporal. Your real action usually ends with me patching up crew members in the infirmary.
You need to calm down, Corporal. A good soldier stays cool, even under fire.
Sorry,
God.
Commander, but this waiting's killing me.
I want to take a razor
I've never been on a mission
to
like this before, not one
Shepard's
with
face
the
right
Spectre
now.
on board.
Just treat this like every other assignment you've had, and everything will work out.
Easy for you to say. You proved yourself in the Blitz. Everybody knows what you can do. This is my big chance. I need to show the brass what I can do.
You're young, Corporal. You have a long career ahead of you. Don't do something stupid to mess it up.
Don't worry, sir. I'm not going to screw this up.
Yes, you will.
What can you tell me about Nihilus?
Turians are generally well respected by the other species. Their fleet has more patrols protecting Citadel space than any other. They don't always get on well with us, though. Some people find them too rigid. Others still blame them for the First Contact War. As for Nihilus, I haven't said more than 2 words to him. He usually only speaks to the captain.
I hope we get a chance to see him in action. I heard Nihilus took down an entire enemy platoon all by himself.
Oh, 30th anniversary for PlayStation. Nice. I'd actually have a bigger care about that if they weren't.
What do you know
if it
about
wasn't
the
if Sony wasn't such a bunch
Only
of
what
greedy
I've
assholes.
heard. Spectre agents work directly for the Citadel Council. They usually work alone or in small groups. Spectres don't have any official power, though. Basically, they're a shadow organization with a mandate to preserve and protect
PlayStation 2, like, greatest
Protect it
console
at
Sony
any
ever made,
cost.
though.
Don't forget that part. Spectres operate above the law.
Why don't we have any of our own people in there?
Spectres usually come from the Council races, like the Turians. We've been trying to get a human accepted into their ranks for years now. So far, it hasn't happened.
Hey, Commander, you'd make a good Spectre. You're a war hero, right? Held off an entire enemy fleet during the Blitz single-handed? That's the kind of talent the Spectres are looking for.
This is all just wild speculation. The Spectres aren't interested in recruiting humans, no matter how capable.
Yeah, the PS3 is not that bad. I just I feel like my experience with the PS3 is a little jaded because the big problem that I have with PS3s is that their hard
At that
drive
point,
keeps
Citadel
working.
Security Services would take over.
Those C-Sec grunts wouldn't stand a chance. The Spectres were 20 ordinary soldiers. The Spectres police themselves. An agent goes rogue, they send another agent to take him down. That's Spectre justice.
The Corporal's confusing romantic legends with reality, Commander.
Yes, he is.
You're from Eden Prime, aren't you, Jenkins? What's it like?
It's very peaceful, Commander. They've been real careful with development, so you don't have any city noise or pollution. My parents lived on the outskirts of the colony. At night, I used to climb this big hill and stare across the fields back at the lights from the main settlement. It was gorgeous. But
I don't know what it is, but every PS3 I've ever owned,
That's why I joined the Alliance.
Had the hard drive in it
Boring
die
after a while.
multiple times and had to replace it every time.
Any idea why Eden Prime was chosen as our destination?
Not really sure, Commander. Eden Prime's one of our most stable colonies. Good place to take the Normandy for a shakedown run, I guess.
It's not a
No
terrible
real danger
console, though.
there.
I've used it.
There's gotta be something else going on. We've got a Spectre on board. That's why I'm so wound up. I can't wait for the real mission to start.
The captain's waiting for me.
Goodbye, Commander.
Don't get used to Jenkins, by the way. That's all I'm gonna say.
Commander Shepard, I was hoping you'd get here first.
You've just had massive
Give us a chance to talk.
You know what? I would believe that.
The captain said he'd meet me here.
He's on his way. I'm interested in this world we're going to. Eden Prime. I've heard it's quite beautiful.
They say it's a paradise.
Yes, a paradise. Serene, tranquil, safe. Eden Prime has become something of a symbol for your people, hasn't it? Proof that humanity can
Mass
not only
Effect version
establish
of
colonies
Richards.
across the galaxy, but also protect them. But how safe is it, really?
Do you know something?
Your people are still newcomers, Shepard. The galaxy can be a very dangerous place. Is the Alliance truly ready for this?
I think it's about time we told the commander what's really going on.
This mission is far more than a simple shakedown run.
I figured there was something you weren't telling us.
We're making a covert pickup on Eden Prime. That's why we needed the stealth systems operational.
There must be a reason you didn't tell me about this, sir.
This comes down from the top, Commander. Information strictly on a need-to-know basis. A research team on Eden Prime unearthed some kind of beacon during an excavation. It was Prothean.
I thought the Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago.
Their legacy still remains. The mass relays, the Citadel, our ship drives. It's all based on Prothean technology.
This is big, Shepard. The last time humanity made a discovery like this, it jumped our technology forward 200 years. But Eden Prime doesn't have the facilities to handle something like this. We need to bring the beacon back to the Citadel for proper study.
Obviously, this goes beyond mere human interests, Commander. This discovery could affect every species in Council space.
I love how you can ask this question right here, because this is an incredibly, rude question to ask. And I'm going to ask it.
Why didn't we keep the beacon for ourselves?
You humans don't have the best reputation. Some species see you as selfish, too unpredictable, too independent, even dangerous.
Not wrong.
Sharing that beacon will improve relations with the Council. Plus, we need their scientific expertise.
Humans are assholes.
They know more about the Protheans than we do.
The beacon's not the only reason I'm here, Shepard.
Nihilus wants to see you in action, Commander.
Too independent.
He's here to...
Yeah! Too independent, I don't really like that statement. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to mean.
Guess that explains why I bump into him every time I turn around.
The Alliance has been pushing for this for a long time. Humanity wants a larger role in shaping interstellar policy. We want more say with the Citadel Council. The Spectres represent the Council's power and authority. If they accept a human into their ranks, it shows how far the Alliance has come.
You held off an enemy assault during the Blitz.
God bless
single-handed.
Keith David.
You showed not only courage, but also incredible skill. That's why I put your name forward as a candidate for the Spectres.
Why would a Turian want a human in the Spectres?
Not all Turians resent humanity. Some of us see the potential of your species. We see what you have to offer to the rest of the galaxy, and to the Spectres. We are an elite group. It's rare to find an individual with the skills we seek. I don't care that you're human, Shepard. I only care that you can do the job.
I assume this is good for the Alliance.
Earth needs this, Shepard. We're counting on you.
I need to see your skills for myself, Commander. Eden Prime will be the first of several missions together.
You'll be in charge of the ground team. Secure the beacon and get it on the ship
Volus
ASAP.
becoming a Spectre.
Nihilus will accompany
Oh
you to the
god.
mission.
I don't want to even consider that possibility.
What do you know about the Protheans?
Just what they taught us in school. They were a technologically advanced species that ruled the galaxy 50,000 years ago. Then they vanished. Nobody really knows how or why, though I've heard plenty of theories. But everyone agrees, galactic civilization wouldn't exist without them.
Their Citadel is the
Well,
very
Volus
heart
is
of
a
galactic
frickin'
society.
Spectre. That would be horrible.
And without their mass relays, interstellar travel would be impossible.
All I can think
all
about
owe
is the
Protheans
Volus
a
from
great
Mass Effect
debt.
2 that you run into that's high on drugs.
I'd like to know more about Eden Prime before we touch down.
It's a peaceful farming world, but it represents something much bigger. Eden Prime is one of our oldest and most successful colonies. It proved we were ready to face the challenges of settling new worlds, to forge a place for humanity beyond Earth. It symbolizes humanity's growth and evolution as a spacefaring species. And after this, it will be known as the world where humans made a discovery of galactic importance.
Why is this beacon so important?
All advanced galactic civilization is based on Prothean technology. Even yours.
If we hadn't discovered those Prothean ruins buried on Mars, we'd still be stuck on Earth. That was just a small data cache. Who knows what we can learn from this beacon? What if it's a weapons archive? We can't let it fall into the wrong hands.
Like who?
The Attican Traverse isn't the most stable sector of Citadel space. There are plenty of raiders and criminal groups active in the region. They might figure a Prothean beacon is worth the risk of attacking an Alliance ship. Plus, Eden Prime is right on the border of the Terminus systems.
The Attican Traverse is under Citadel protection. If the Terminus systems attack, it's an act of war.
Technically, yes. But some of the species in the Terminus might be willing to start a war over this.
The last thing the Council wants is to get dragged into a major conflict with the Terminus systems. We have to keep this low-key.
So, the Terminus systems, for anybody who might not understand what the hell that means, because maybe you haven't played this series before, and maybe you just haven't read up on the lore at all, essentially that is an area that I like to call the lawless regions. There are a series of government-controlled groups out there, but their governments are very small, very localized. I call them the lawless regions because most pirates, gangsters, mercenaries, and thugs make their homes in the Terminus systems. Very few of the Terminus systems actually have any form of organized government outside of the Batarian nation. The Batarians are a non-council species that are humanoids with about 6 eyes, and they look ugly as hell, at least to me. I actually think they're a really cool alien design, but they're ugly as hell. They are a species that has had a lot of negative engagements with both non-council races and the council races because they believe in slavery and they act like slavery is part of their culture, and they also have a huge issue with the fact that many of them are either slavers or pirates as a rule, and they have a bad tendency to pillage and take whatever they want from other people and other groups and slave out anybody else who they happen to feel is good for working. They might have something resembling a decent society, but one downside that I feel the Mass Effect series definitely has, you never really get to go into Batarian space and see Batarian colonies and actually see Batarian society. The closest you ever get are Batarian military complexes and the various Batarian gangsters and pirate groups that you kill over the course of the series, as well as certain Batarian terrorist groups that you will also kill over the series. Which is not a very good look for these guys. But starting a war with the Terminus systems I don't think would actually be quite as bad as you think it is, because most of their army would be mercenaries, slavers, and pirates who you could easily pay to attack each other rather than attacking you. And then you could just move in and sweep everybody else aside after they've beaten each other to shit. But still, there's a lot of different groups out there that are pretty sizable and you might not want to piss them off.
Just give the word, Captain.
We should be getting
but
close
yes,
to Eden.
Batarians and Terminus systems
What's
groups
wrong,
are
Joker?
mostly
Transmission from
slavers
Eden
in general.
Prime, sir. You better see this.
Bring it
A
up
lot
on
of
screen.
horrible shit happens to the Batarians. I don't think that BioWare like the Batarians any more than I do.
Get down!
Hello, Williams.
We are under attack, taking heavy casualties. I repeat, heavy casualties. We can't get evac. They came out of nowhere. We need.
Damn. That's big.
Everything cuts out after that. No comm traffic at all. Just goes dead. There's nothing.
Reverse and hold at 38.5.
Huh.
Status report.
17 minutes out, Captain. No other Alliance ships in the area.
Take us in, Joker, fast and quiet. This mission just got a lot more complicated.
A small strike team can move quickly, without drawing attention. It's our best chance to secure the beacon.
Grab your gear and meet us in the cargo hold. Tell Alenko and Jenkins to suit up, Commander. You're going in.
And here I was thinking you weren't going to send me.
Engaging stealth systems.
Didn't we already do that?
Somebody was doing some serious digging here, Captain.
Your team's the muscle in this operation, Commander. Go in heavy and head straight for the dig site.
What about survivors, Captain?
Helping survivors is a secondary objective. The beacon's your top priority.
Approaching drop point 1.
Nihilus, you're coming with us?
I move faster on my own.
Nihilus will scout out ahead. He'll feed you status reports throughout the mission. Otherwise, I want radio silence.
Nihilus, you really should have stuck with us.
We've got his back, Captain.
The mission's yours now, Shepard. Good luck.
We are approaching drop point 2.
Don't worry, we just jumped out of there and somehow these hard suits allowed us to
perimeter
survive a
secure,
200-foot drop. We're fine.
This place got me hot, Commander.
A whole lot of violence. There is no reason to ever make Caden equip anything that is not a handgun, by the way. Unless you get him a very, very high-tech rifle. And upgrade it significantly. I guess you could get him a shotgun. Oh. Damn it, Jenkins, you fucking idiot. Those big green gas bags look like something the Flood would produce.
Rip right through his shields. You're out of chance.
We'll see that he receives a proper service once the mission is complete. But I need you to stay focused.
Aye, aye, sir.
So, yeah, there's a reason I told you not to get used to Jenkins. Jenkins pulled a Leroy. You know, let's just stand out in the middle of fucking nowhere and get ourselves shot to shit. I think I just went backwards like a moron. Yeah, I did. I totally did. Metagel is needed to heal injured squad members. Omnigel can do a bypass on decryption challenges, and both can be acquired from defeating enemies and opening containers.
I've got some burned out buildings here, Shepard. A lot of bodies. I'm gonna check it out. I'll try to catch up with you at the dig site.
You can use first aid as a non-metagel method of healing allies if you don't want to constantly spam that shit. Seriously, look at that thing. It looks like something the Flood would produce from Halo. Shit. Shit. Damn it. There we go. He can't aim for shit. Seriously, Caden? Are you even aiming, bro? Like, that was a lot of ammo fired at that thing and you didn't hit shit. I swear they wanted you to shoot every one of those that you came across. That thing looks like a big, disgusting parasite. Oh, hey, look, another red shirt. No, wait, this one actually is a pink shirt. Hey, she knows how to shoot! She's already better than Jenkins. What are they doing to that guy? Oh, God! Hey, look, I've heard of maximum penetration, but that just redefined it, alright? Headshot!
Thanks for your help, Commander. I didn't think I was gonna make it. Gunnery Chief Ashley Williams of the 212. You the one in charge here, sir?
Are you wounded, Williams?
A few scrapes and burns. Nothing serious. The others weren't so lucky.
No, Pebbles.
Oh, man. We were patrolling the perimeter when the attack hit. We tried to get off a distress call, but they cut off our communications. I've been fighting for my life ever since.
Where's the rest of your squad?
We tried to double back to the beacon, but we walked into an ambush. I don't think any of the others... I think I'm the only one left.
This isn't your fault, Williams. You couldn't have done anything to save them.
Yes,
she
sir.
really couldn't.
We held our position as long as we could, until the Geth overwhelmed us.
The Geth haven't been seen outside the Veil in nearly 200 years. Why are they here now?
They must have come for the beacon. The dig site is close, just over that rise. It might still be there.
We could use your help, Williams.
Aye, aye, sir. It's time for payback.
What else do you know about the Geth?
Just what I remember from history class back in school. They're synthetics, non-organic life forms with limited AI programming, created by the Quarians a few centuries ago. They were supposed to be a source of cheap labor, but ended up turning on the Quarians and drove them into exile. Well, after that, they just kind of disappeared behind the Perseus Veil. Nobody's really heard much from them since.
Tell me everything you know about the beacon.
They were doing some digging out here to extend the monorail and expand the colony. A few weeks ago, they unearthed some Prothean ruins, and the beacon. Suddenly, every scientific expert in the colony was interested. That's when they brought us in to secure the site. I don't know much about the beacon itself, but I heard one of the researchers say this could be the biggest scientific discovery of the century.
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know. They set up camp near the beacon. The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
Describe what happened leading up to the attack.
We were sent out a couple of nights ago from the main colony to secure the area. Seemed like a routine patrol, until the Geth hit us. We never knew they were coming.
What happened to the researchers at the dig site?
I don't know. They set up camp near the beacon. The 232 was with them. Maybe their unit fared better than mine.
Have you seen a Turian Spectre around here?
There aren't any Turians on Eden Prime. None that I've ever met. Not sure I'd be able to tell if one was a Spectre anyway.
If you saw this guy, you'd know. Carries enough firepower to wipe out a whole platoon. Luckily, he's on our side.
Sorry. Like I said, no Turians.
Move out.
So the one problem that I have with Ashley Williams in the beginning of this game right here, she somehow knows that you're a commander, and not a typical field squad leader, and I don't really know what would give her that information. So this is the Codex. I'm just going to say this here. All secondary things are not voiced. The primary ones are.
Roughly 1,200 years ago, the Turians were invited to join the Citadel Council to fulfill the role of galactic peacekeepers. The Turians have the largest fleet in Citadel space, and they make up the single largest portion of the Council's military forces. As their territory and influence has spread, the Turians have come to rely on the Solarians for military intelligence and the Asari for diplomacy. Despite a somewhat colonial attitude towards the rest of the galaxy, the ruling hierarchy understands they would lose more than they would gain if the other two races were ever removed. Turians come from an autocratic society that values discipline and possesses a strong sense of personal and collective honor. There is lingering animosity between Turians and humans over the First Contact War of 2157, which is known as the Relay 314 incident to the Turians. Officially, however, the two species are allies, and they enjoy civil, if cool, diplomatic relations.
So this codex basically exists to tell you about all the lore the game has to offer. Weapons, armor, equipment, planets, locations, humanity, the Citadel, the galactic government, the various non-council, council, and extinct races that you will find throughout the game. There's a lot of secondary stuff, such as your personal history, various weapons, equipment, vehicle stuff. Even more is going to get added to the game over the course of it, and this is just something that you can find as the game goes along. The more codex entries you unlock in the first game, the more experience points you get, so it's kind of worth it to try and find as many as possible just to get yourself more levels. But that is one of the chief things that you can consider in the game. Oh, wow. He lived through that. That was a good grenade toss. That was almost my face. My shields were a little too close to giving out there for comfort. But that was my fault. Adepts really shouldn't be the ones to do a flank unless they use a biotic power first.
This is the dig site. The beacon was right here. It must have been moved.
By who? Our side or the Geth?
Hard to say. Maybe we'll know more after we check out the research camp.
You think anyone got out of here alive?
If they were lucky. Maybe hiding up in the camp. It's just on the top of this ridge, up the ramps.
Change of plans, Shepard. There's a small spaceport up ahead. I want to check it out. I'll wait for you there.
So be it.
Looks like they hit the camp hard.
It's a good place for an ambush. Keep your guard up.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of ambush...
Oh god, they're still alive.
No, they're not.
What did the Geth do to them?
Oh god, I can't hit that. Normally I've got better aim than this. Not today, though. His AI is fucking up his pathfinding so much right now. It's actually kind of funny. I don't know what it is with warp, by the way, but warp does not work very well in this version for some fucking reason. It's not really that big of a deal, but it's kind of annoying considering warp is one of your first and only really good methods of damage that doesn't involve firing a gun. This is the override minigame. It lets you do that, and then...
Humans, thank the Maker.
Hurry, close the door before they come back.
Don't worry, we'll protect you.
Thank you. I think we'll be okay now. It looks like everyone's gone.
You're Dr. Warren, the one in charge of the excavation. Do you know what happened to the beacon?
It was moved to the spaceport this morning.
Yeah, somebody farted on it, and it called down the wrath of the Reapers because it didn't like being
Marines
snagged
held them
on.
off long enough for us to hide. They gave their lives to save us.
No one is saved. The age of humanity is ended. Soon, only ruin and corpses will remain.
What's wrong with your assistant?
Manuel has a brilliant mind, but he's always been a bit unstable. Genius and madness are two sides of the same coin.
Is it madness to see the future? To see the destruction rushing towards us? To understand there is no escape? No hope? No. I am not mad. I'm the only sane one left.
I gave him an extra dose of his meds after the attack.
Say goodnight, Manuel.
You cannot silence the truth. My voice must be heard.
Oh my God! What did you do?
That might have been a little extreme, Commander.
You can't just go around whacking people in the head.
It was only a matter of time until he did something crazy and dangerous.
I suppose you're right. By the time he wakes up, the meds will have kicked in.
The level of asshole that
What
you
else
can
tell me
do as a
about the attack?
renegade is a little stupid in this game.
1 second we were gathering up our equipment.
I always do that
The
though
next
because
we
it's
were
incredibly
hiding in the
funny.
shed while the Geth swarmed over the camp. We could hear the battle outside. Gunfire, screams. I thought it would never end. Then everything went quiet. We just sat there, too afraid to move, until you came along.
Did you notice a Turian in the area?
No, I'm sorry. We haven't left the shed since the attack.
Can you tell me anything about the beacon?
It's some type of data module from a galaxy-wide communications network. Remarkably well preserved. It could be the greatest scientific discovery of our lifetime. Who knows what secrets are locked inside? Miraculous new technologies? Groundbreaking medical advances? The possibilities are endless.
A psionic warning from virtually every species that came before about the fact that our life is about to turn into hell?
Williams, take us to the spaceport.
What?
Good luck,
I didn't say
Commander.
anything. Oh, I can't loot those boxes. I can loot these, though. Metagel! uh... Okay, so that's how, like, that's my armor buff. I feel like Biotic Barrier and Assault Rifles are probably better to invest in right now.
Saren.
Remember when I said that Nihilus should have stuck with us?
Nihilus. This isn't your mission, Saren. What are you doing here?
The Council thought you could use some help on this one.
Bullshit.
I wasn't expecting to find the Geth here. The situation's bad.
Don't worry. I've got it under control.
Look at the size of it.
Of these husks is just like either extremely stupid or extremely ADD. Ugh. I don't really feel like either of those are proper upgrades. She doesn't really need accuracy. She's an AI. It'll be fine. Did I get any? No, I didn't get any grenade upgrades yet.
Everybody stay calm out there.
Why ain't he suspicious by how he looks?
We're not armed.
Reaper.
Is it safe? Gone?
Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I would be really suspicious about. The only other thing that's also incredibly suspicious is the council thought you could use some help on this one. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? He has an entire Alliance stealth operation ship fully staffed and crewed with military combat personnel as backup. If the council was going to send him reinforcements, wouldn't they be sending him, like, I don't know, a Turian shock trooper squadron? That situation was like sus from the instant he saw him.
You're okay now. Nobody's gonna hurt you.
Those things were crawling all around the shed. They would have found us for sure. We owe you our lives.
I still can't believe it. When we saw that ship, I thought it was all over.
It showed up right before the attack. Knew it was trouble the second I saw it, so we made a break for the sheds.
Tell me everything you remember about the attack.
The three of us were.
I just wanted to zoom in on the Reaper because that thing looks incredible. Like, it's got great design.
The rest of the crew.
The graphics overhaul in this version of the game is also incredible.
Right where that ship came down. No way they survived.
You don't know that. We survived. If they made it to the garage, they could have had a fighting chance.
Do you know anything about the Protean beacon they dug up?
We're just farmers. We heard they found something out there, but it never really mattered to us. Not until now.
What else can you tell me about the ship you saw?
I was too busy running to get a clear look at it.
You just looked at it, Shepard. How the fuck are you asking this?
Tell them about the noise, Cole. That awful noise.
It was emitting some kind of signal as it descended. It sounded like the shriek of the damned. Only it was coming from inside your own head.
It was probably trying to block communications.
Whatever it was, felt like it was tearing right through my skull. Almost made it impossible to think.
I have to go.
Hey, Cole, we're just a bunch of farmers. These guys are soldiers. Maybe we should give them the stuff.
Jeez, Blake, you gotta learn when to shut up.
You have something to tell me, Cole?
Some guys at the spaceport were running a small smuggling ring, nothing major. In exchange for a cut of the profits, we let them store packages in our sheds.
You're breaking the law, Cole.
We're not hurting anybody. Hell, most of the time I don't even know what's in the packages. Just thought there might be something we could use. I found a pistol. Figured it would come in handy if those things came back. But you'll probably get more use out of it than we will.
We're risking our lives to save this colony. You sure there's nothing else in here that could help us out?
Yeah, there's one more thing. I was gonna sell it after this was over, but you probably deserve it more than I do.
Who's your contact at the spaceport, Cole? What's his name?
He's not a bad guy. I don't want to get him in trouble. Besides, I'm not a snitch.
He might have something to do with this whole attack, Cole. We need his name. It's important.
Yeah, okay, you're right. His name's Powell. Works the docks at the spaceport if he's still alive.
I have to go.
Good luck.
So he just gave us a combat sensor and a rank 2 Stinger pistol. That's actually not a bad pistol. Also, I'm going to say this. You can walk in here and find a storage locker. So much for not holding out on us. Yeah, there were more weapons and armor in here. Fucking liars. Oh, that's heavy armor. Ashley, can you wear that? Not yet. I was gonna say, I know Caden can't wear shit like that. Ooh. The heatsink capacity on that is like shit. Straight up shit. Ew. Yeah, there is something to note that Saren's eyes have very clearly been replaced with ocular implants. He's had upgrades to his body. Mostly the thing that would tell you that he's been cybernetically enhanced are his eyes. I don't know if that's Reaper tech, though, or if that's just a cybernetic replacement for his regular eyes that he got at some point. It's very likely that it is Reaper tech, though, because the elusive man in Mass Effect 2 has eyes that look very similar to Saren's.
Something's moving over behind those crates.
Wait! Don't shoot! I'm one of you! I'm human!
Sneaking up on us like that nearly got you killed.
I am sorry, I was hiding from those creatures. My name's Pal. I saw what happened to that Turian. The other one shot him.
I need to know how Nihilus died.
The other one got here first. He was waiting when your friend showed up. He called him Saren. I think they knew each other. Your friend seemed to relax. He let his guard down. And Saren killed him. Shot him right in the back. I'm just lucky he didn't see me behind the crates.
We were told a Prothean beacon was brought to the spaceport. What happened to it?
It's over on the other platform. Probably where that guy Saren was headed. He hopped on the cargo train right after he killed your friend. I knew that beacon was trouble. Everything's gone to hell since we found it. First that damn mothership showed up, then the attack. They killed everyone. Everyone. If I hadn't been behind the crates, I'd be dead too.
How come you're the only one who survived? Why didn't anyone else try to hide behind the crates?
They never had a chance. I was already behind the crates when the attack started.
Wait a minute. You were hiding behind the crates before the attack?
Sometimes I need a nap to get through my shift. I sneak off behind the crates to grab 40 winks where the supervisor can't find me.
You survived because you're lazy?
If you hadn't snuck off for that nap, you'd probably be dead just like all the others.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really want to think about it.
You're Cole's contact here on the docks. For the smuggling ring.
What? No! I mean, what does it matter now? So I'm a smuggler, who cares? My supervisor's dead, the entire crew's dead. Doesn't matter now, does it?
Anything hidden nearby that we could use against the Geth?
A shipment of grenades came through last week. Nobody notices if a few small pieces go missing from the military orders.
You greedy son of a bitch. We're out here trying to protect your sorry ass, and all you can think about is how you can rip us off?
I never thought you'd actually need those grenades. Who'd want to attack Eden Prime? We're just a bunch of farmers. How was I supposed to know?
So, first of all, he's correct. They're just a bunch of farmers. Realistically speaking, nobody would want to attack them. Except for pirates and slavers. And the Attican Traverse is right on the edge of the Terminus systems, which is full of pirates and slavers. This guy is an idiot.
Just give me the grenades.
They're yours. Take them. My smuggling days are over, I swear.
A lot of Marines died here, Powell. Those grenades could have come in handy. If I were you, I'd think of some way to make it up to them.
Yeah, okay. There is something else I was saving. Could be worth a fortune. Experimental technology, top of the line. Take it. I don't need it. I didn't want anyone to get hurt. Really, I'm sorry.
What he's gonna tell us in these 3 things is all basically shit we've already heard, so I'm not gonna go into it.
We need to find that beacon before it's too late.
Take the cargo train. That's where the other Turian went. I can't stay here. I need to get away from all this.
Yeah, it's fine, honey. That wasn't loud enough that I don't think it's gonna mess with my thing. Anyway, yeah, he had a high explosive grenades upgrade. It's only rank 1. It's hi. But it still makes it easier to do that. I do feel like Mass Effect 1 has the worst combat of the 3, but, like, it's still got good combat, let's be real here. Okay, power wheel. Ah, damn it. I definitely like the sound effects of the weapons. Actually, I'm pretty sure that's not where I ordered you to go. I don't know how the fuck I couldn't hit that, but... Stick your head out again, I dare you. Those are really good grenade tosses. Shit. Assault rifle might be a little OP. You do need to be careful with your grenade tosses. You actually have a limited amount of those. You can get capacity upgrades for that.
Destroy the entire colony. Leave no evidence that we were here.
He's even got cybernetics in the back of his head. Yeah, look at his fucking eyes, Jesus. His eyes are entirely robotic. Oh, that's disturbing. I like how that Geth just kind of gets up and looks at you like he's some kind of badass.
Demolition charges. The Geth must have planted them.
Don't worry, I'm taking
Hurry!
cover and
We need to
disarming
find
it
them all
from
and shut them
behind
down.
my back. It's fine. I can totally do this. I'm not just showing off for YouTube. So, one of the things that Geth troopers can do in order to make fighting them a little bit more aggravating is they can actually drop little barriers in this game that are just kind of there. But a little bit of firepower and those barriers go down pretty quickly. Right in the face! What the That guy ripped my shields apart. Overkill. That is a brutal assault power. Excuse me while I just shut this off. Caden, please keep your head down when I'm firing over your shoulder. Yay! We disabled all the bombs! That was actually, I think, one of the fastest ways I've ever disarmed all those. In your face. In your face. More corpses. Beautiful. Now, I forget, but I think there's a locker or something over here that's hidden way over here, isn't there? Yeah, there's a technician's kit. There's actually a couple of items that you can grab right before you pick up the beacon, and if you activate the beacon before you pick these up, you cannot get them anymore, because you will never come back to Eden Prime. Okay, there's nothing up here. May as well put my gun away. Oh, there's a wall safe over here. The game really wants you to explore. This game rewards you a lot with exploration. Alright, now that I've picked up all the goodies, let's touch the candy statue. This is totally not a candy statue.
Normandy, the beacon is secure.
This is amazing. Actual working Prothean technology. Unbelievable.
It wasn't doing anything like that when they dug it up. Something must have activated it.
Roger, Normandy. Standing by.
And of course, Ashley, being the impetuous youth that she is like, hey, let's walk over and touch this. I have no idea what this is, but let's walk over and touch this. So now I have to walk over and touch this.
No, don't touch it!
Because nobody's gonna take my psychotic visions away from me. And of course it explodes. Why wouldn't it explode? Everything else did on my way here. I apologize for the squeaky chair I rock as a comfort mechanism, for anybody wondering. So if you hear squeaky chair noises in the background, that's my fault.
We identified the ship that touched down on Eden Prime. The Normandy, a human alliance vessel. It was under the command of Captain Anderson. They managed to save the colony.
And the beacon.
One of the humans may have used it.
This human must be eliminated.
Yeah, Saren's kind of a rabid dog.
Doctor Chakwas, I think he's waking up.
You had us worried there, Shepard. How are you feeling?
Like I got hit with a brick.
How did I end up here? How long was I out?
About 15 hours. Something happened down there with the beacon, I think.
It's my fault. I must have triggered some kind of security field when I approached it. You had to push me out of the way.
You had no way to know what would happen.
Which is exactly why she shouldn't have touched it.
Actually, we don't even know if that's what set it off. Unfortunately, we'll never get the chance to find out.
The beacon exploded. A system overload, maybe. The blast knocked you cold. The lieutenant and I carried you back here to the ship.
I appreciate it.
Physically, you're fine. But I detected some unusual brain activity. Abnormal beta waves. I also noticed an increase in your rapid eye movement. Signs typically associated with intense dreaming.
I saw... I'm not sure what I saw. Death? Destruction? Nothing's really clear.
I better add this to my report. It may... Oh, Captain Anderson.
How's our XO holding up, Doctor?
Well, all the readings look normal. I'd say the commander's going to be fine.
Glad to hear it. Shepard, I need to speak with you. In private.
Aye, aye, Captain. I'll be in the mess if you need me.
Sounds like that beacon hit you pretty hard, Commander. Are you sure you're okay?
I don't like soldiers dying under my command.
Jenkins
I only knew him for 5 minutes,
You
but
did
I
a
feel
good job,
bad that I
Shepard.
lost him.
Chief Williams isn't part of the Normandy crew.
I figured we could use a soldier like her. She's been reassigned to the Normandy.
Williams is a good soldier. She deserves it.
Lieutenant Alenko agrees with you. That's why I added her to our crew.
Intel dropped the ball, sir. We had no idea what we were walking into down there. That's why things went to hell.
The Geth haven't been outside the Veil in 2 centuries, Commander. Nobody could have predicted this.
You said you needed to see me in private, Captain?
I won't lie to you, Shepard. Things look bad. Nihilus is dead. The beacon was destroyed and Geth are invading. The Council's going to want answers.
I didn't do anything wrong, Captain. Hopefully the Council can see that.
I'll stand behind you and your report, Shepard. You're a damned hero in my books. That's not why I'm here. It's Saren, that other Turian. Saren's a Spectre, one of the best. A living legend. But if he's working with the Geth, it means he's gone rogue. A rogue Spectre's trouble. Saren's dangerous, and he hates humans.
Why?
He thinks we're growing too fast, taking over the galaxy. A lot of aliens think that way. Most of them don't do anything about it. But Saren has allied himself with the Geth. I don't know how, I don't know why. I only know it had something to do with that beacon. You were there just before that beacon self-destructed. Did you see anything? Any clue that might tell us what Saren was after?
Just before I lost consciousness, I had some kind of vision.
A vision? A vision of what?
I saw synthetics. Geth, maybe. Slaughtering people. Butchering them.
We need to report this to the Council, Shepard.
What are we gonna tell them? I had a bad dream?
We don't know what information was stored in that beacon. Lost Prothean technology? Blueprints for some ancient weapon of mass destruction, whatever it was. Saren took it. But I know Saren. I know his reputation is politics. He believes humans are a blight on the galaxy. This attack was an act of war. He has the secrets from the beacon. He has an army of Geth at his command, and he won't stop until he's wiped humanity from the face of the galaxy.
I'll find some way to take him down.
It's not that easy. He's a Spectre. He can go anywhere, do almost anything. That's why we need the Council on our side.
We prove Saren's gone rogue, and the Council will revoke his Spectre status.
I'll contact the Ambassador and see if he can get us an audience with the Council. He'll want to see us as soon as we reach the Citadel. We should be getting close. Head up to the bridge and tell Joker to bring us into dock.
Hey, Commander. I'm glad you're okay, Commander. The crew could use some good news after what happened to Jenkins.
Jenkins was a valuable part of this crew.
Part of me feels guilty over what happened. If Jenkins was still alive, I might not be here.
You're a good soldier, Williams. You belong on the Normandy.
Thanks, Commander. That means a lot from you. I've never met anyone who was awarded the Star of Terra.
Things were pretty rough down there. Are you okay?
I've seen friends die before. Comes with being a Marine. But to see my whole unit wiped out, and you never get used to seeing dead civilians. But things would have been a lot worse if you hadn't shown up.
We couldn't have done it without you, Williams.
Thanks, Commander. I have to admit, I was a little worried about being assigned to the Normandy. It's nice when someone makes you feel welcome.
I think you're gonna fit in here just fine, Williams.
Thanks, Commander.
Glad to see you're okay, Commander.
I don't know why somebody put a shotgun and a sniper rifle in my weapons locker when I'm at it, but okay.
I'm glad you're okay, Commander. Losing Jenkins was hard enough on the crew.
I love how everybody talks about Jenkins like he was just such an amazing person. But we knew him for less than 5 minutes.
Good timing, Commander. I was just about to bring us into the Citadel. See that taxpayer money at work.
You're hilarious. He's got the nickname Joker for a reason, for anybody who's not familiar. He is going to be a sarcastic ass the entire game. And that's just going to be his shtick for all 3 games. And I'm okay with that. Because he's great at it. The writing for Joker is fucking amazing. I give you the Citadel!
That ship.
The Ascension, flagship of the Citadel fleet.
Well, size isn't everything.
Why so touchy, Joker?
I'm just saying you need firepower too.
Look at that monster. Its main gun could rip through the barriers in any ship in the Alliance fleet.
Good thing it's on our side.
He gets a robo-girlfriend too.
Citadel
That's
Control,
true.
this is
That's true.
SSV Normandy,
And I will be
Western
fostering that
Land.
because
Stand
that
by for
relationship is
clearance,
adorable.
Clearance granted. You may begin your approach. Transferring you to an Alliance operator.
Roger, Alliance Tower. Normandy out.
Normandy, this is Alliance Tower. Please proceed to Dock 422.
The guy who was just talking before Joker was put into the Alliance comm tower, I have heard that guy's voice before, I swear. I can't remember where though, but I know I've heard it before.
This is an outrage! The Council would step in if the Geth attacked a Turian colony?
The Turians don't found colonies on the borders of the Terminus systems, Ambassador.
That's not an excuse, asshole!
When you went into the Traverse.
That's
What
not
about
an
Saren?
excuse
You
either.
can't just ignore a rogue Spectre. I demand action! You don't get to make demands of a council, Ambassador.
Yes, he does
Citadel
when our
Security
people
is
die on
investigating
your
your
watch.
charges against Saren. We will discuss the CSEC findings at the hearing, not before.
Fuck all three of you.
Captain Anderson, I see you brought half your crew with you.
Just the ground team from Eden Prime, in case you had any questions.
I have the mission reports. I assume they're accurate?
They are. Sounds like you convinced the council to give us an audience.
They were not happy about it. Saren's their top agent. They don't like him being accused of treason.
Ask me if I give a shit. The dude showed up at Eden Prime, shot one of his own comrades, and led an army of machines to slaughter the colony, and then tried to steal ancient Prothea tech and blow the colony to hell. I'm sorry that's inconvenient for them, but, eat my ass.
Saren's a threat to every human colony out there. He needs to be stopped. The council has to listen to us.
Settle down, Commander. You've already done more than enough to jeopardize your candidacy for the Spectres.
Fuck you.
The mission on Eden Prime was a chance to prove you could get the job done. Instead, Nihilus ended up dead and the beacon was destroyed.
That's Saren's fault, not his.
Then
By the
we
way,
better
if you
hope
think
the
you're going to
CSEC
like
investigation
Udina, for
turns up
anybody who
evidence
watches
to
this in the
support our
future, guess what?
accusations.
You won't.
Otherwise, the Council might use this as an excuse to keep you out of the Spectres. Come with me, Captain. I want to go over a few things before the hearing. Shepard, you and the others can meet us at the Citadel Tower, top level. I'll make sure you have clearance to get in.
Thanks.
And that's why I hate politicians.
You and me both. Oh my god. Udina is... I'm gonna go ahead and lay it out there. Udina is made to be disliked. Everything about his writing kind of basically screams, hate me. I exist for you to hate me. He is not friendly. He's not respectful. He's not decent. and he's not a
you
good
are
person.
in the wrong place, I
He
think.
is a power-mongering
Your ambassador
dickhead.
is next
That is
door in the large office.
Chastising remark. Don't be so rude, Dan. At least introduce yourself.
I am Din Korlak, Volus ambassador. Is there something I can do for you, Earth Clan?
So, Revsund made a comment earlier about imagining a Volus Spectre. Volus are essentially a particular type of species. They're short, they're not particularly athletic, and they look like this guy. They're wrapped up in a pressure suit and a breathing apparatus at all times around other species because the atmosphere and pressure system they need to live is so different from ours and most other species that it would kill them. Everybody's behaving, Liz. I was wondering why you were so quiet. But Volus are just not military. The thing about Volus that can make them actually useful, they're not a council species, but they're extremely capable at banking and brokering deals. If you want to talk about a species that is kind of a money-grubbing species, that is the financial species, you talk to a Volus.
What is this place?
You are in the embassy for the Volus and the Elcor.
Your ambassador is next door, in his own office.
In this shared space, I aid my fellow Volus when I'm not being interrupted.
I'd like to know more about the Volus.
I'm sure our history and culture would bore you, Earth Clan.
Actually, I would like to know more about your history.
My people came to the Citadel shortly after the Asari and Solarians had discovered it. We were instrumental in establishing a standardized galactic economy. However, despite our long association with the Citadel and our many contributions to galactic society, we still do not hold a seat on the Council.
Yeah, there might be a reason for that, Din Korlak. You're not a council species, and you don't have a seat on it for one specific reason. You guys are greedy as fuck, and everybody knows it.
Tell me about Volus culture.
We are tribal by nature, but our ways are not violent. We barter and trade our lands and tribe members in order to increase status. Larger tribes often engulf smaller ones and eventually split again. Our society is very malleable, and our government is always shifting and changing.
Space Jews.
Since we're not physically adept,
Oh my god!
we trade our services for protection.
What is it you do here?
I look out for the best interests of the Volus people. No easy task considering how often we are overlooked by the council.
Chastising rebuke, Din. The council favors your species greatly.
You are naive. The Earth Clan will be invited to the council long before our species will.
We're actually going to piss him off later in the game because that's going to be more true than he realizes.
Why aren't the Volus or Elcor part of the council?
All species must prove themselves before they join the council. All but the Earth Clans, it would seem.
The fuck are you talking about, all but the Earth Clans?
Dismissive. Ignore the Volus ambassador, human. He is incorrect in his assessment.
Really? How long have we been waiting? How long do you think we'll continue to wait? Bah, this talk is wasted on the humans.
You seem to have a bit of a chip on your shoulder, Din.
You humans are new to the Citadel, and yet the Council has granted you great favor.
Chastising rebuke, Din. Your species has always been granted many concessions. Volus territory has expanded tenfold since coming to the Citadel.
Details. We still have no real say in the decisions that affect Citadel space.
So Volus territory has been increased tenfold since the council, took them in as one of their subordinate species. But he goes, details. This motherfucker is just you've got 10 times the space that you used to have since you joined them and helped them. And that's not enough. That's not proof that they show you a lot of favor.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Yes, yes. Good day, Earth Clan.
The main reason I indulged that conversation at all is because it was...
It is always good to see your kind.
Good for Codex entries.
I am Ambassador Kalen. Genuine query. Is there something I can do for you this day?
Why do you explain what you're about to say?
Our people communicate less through words and more through scent and slight movements. Plainly, we discovered our vocal expression was not enough to convey the feelings of our conversations to other species.
Why do you bother, Kalen? These Earth Clan don't really care about our ways.
Remorseful response, Din. You don't truly believe that, and if you do, I am very sorry for you.
So, Kalen is an Elcor. Elcor are actually an interesting race that I really wish this game series delved into more, because they have very slight movements, they're very slow to get around, and as you guys can see, they're kind of built like behemoths. Elcor are really cool, and they have this tick where they have to explain their emotional feelings of every single, statement they make, because they are a little bit like the Jiralhanae or the Brute race from Halo, in that they release special scents and slight movements in order to tell somebody what mood they're in. So depending on how they smell, depends on how they feel in a lot of instances. But humans aren't used to that. Humans use body language and they use speech patterns to determine how they feel. But these guys, you will notice, sound very monotone. That's actually a really cool thing to do. I just wish the series experimented with it more and also allowed us to get into a situation where we could see the Elcor military at work, because the Elcor are basically walking artillery platforms in combat according to the Codex, but you never get to see how awesome that is.
Tell me more about your species.
Genuine enthusiasm. I delight in telling the history of my people. It is agreeable to share our culture with others.
Tell me about the history and origins of the Elcor.
The Elcor were just beginning to explore Council space when the Asari first made contact with us. With their help, we discovered the relay closest to our system, and from there the Citadel. Proudly, within one lifetime we established a regular route to the Citadel, and quickly became one of the more active species living on this great station.
I'd like to know more about the culture of the Elcor.
I apologize for how monotone this guy
The
sounds.
Elcor prefer the safety and familiarity of our own colonies to the confines of space travel. Our society is built on small, tight-knit groups. Though we are always welcoming to outsiders, our government tends to be very stable. Our people are not very comfortable with sudden changes.
What do you do here?
Modestly, I work to bring the problems and the requests of the Elcor groups to the attention of the Council.
Ha! They only give us these positions to keep us quiet. The Council doesn't care about our races.
Chastising rebuke. Your tone is inappropriate, Din. This human is not to blame for your malcontent or your misconceived suspicions.
I like how this guy just constantly keeps rebuking the space Jew.
Goodbye, Ambassador.
Sincere.
Because he's like, stop being an asshole, asshole.
Hello there, human. Sincere apology, but I am here on business and cannot be distracted right now.
You seem distressed. Is there something I can do to help?
Alarmed response. You overheard that, did you? This is all going so wrong, and it is the Asari consort's fault. She's the one who started all this.
We'll get into this discussion a little bit later, but I'm going to ignore his issue for right now.
I must speak
because there is a side
Ambassador
quest that we have
myself.
to unlock in order to be able to resolve this guy's problem. Suffice to say, what he thinks is actually the issue is not actually the issue. But that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to talk to that VI. Talking to that VI is basically, hey, here's a ridiculous amount of lore of the conversation, and I don't really want everybody to have to sit through 15 minutes of that. I'm just kind of walking around snagging codex entries and getting what data and information I can so that I don't have to do it later.
Commander Shepard, I didn't expect to see you here. Did Ambassador Udina send you?
Have we met before?
No, but I know you well enough. I'm Executor Palin, head of CSEC. It's my job to know when someone like you arrives on the Citadel. Was there something you needed, Commander?
I get the feeling you're not too fond of humans.
No, I just don't trust your kind. Not yet. You humans are eager to take all the power you can get, and you're being given a lot. If the Council wants to make humanity their new favorite pet, that's their business. But I don't have to like it.
The Council treats us like second-class citizens. We have to fight for everything we get.
Good. Then fight for it. But don't expect the rest of us to just sit back and let you take it. I'm a busy man, Commander. Are we done here?
You ain't
what do
that
you know
lucky.
about the Spectres?
They're the right hand of the Council, or so they like to be called. More like the underhanded side of the Council.
What do you have against the Spectres?
I can't abide any organization that considers itself above the law. Especially when it's left up to each individual Spectre to decide when and how to bend the rules.
So, Turians are very, very much a lawful species. They live a very structured, ordered, organized jackboot lifestyle. You really don't fuck with it. You really don't break a lot of the rules. If you do, you tend to get your ass beat a lot for it, or you tend to visit the stockade a lot for it. Either way, you really don't break a lot of rules if you're considered a good Turian. So this guy doesn't like that anybody, even his own species, might get put in a group where the law and order doesn't really matter quite so much as what you need to do to get a certain job done. Because that's a lot of power to put in someone's hands. And as we saw with Saren, Saren went rogue and nobody noticed until after he blew someone's head off. And as we're going to discover, the Council's still not quite aware that he's become little more than a savage, murderous animal who is leading an army of murder robots.
Sometimes you have to bend the law to keep people safe.
I've been with CSEC for 30 years. I've never had to break the law to do my job, not once.
Yeah, right. You expect us to believe none of your officers are corrupt?
There are over 200,000 CSEC agents. Some of them are going to be bad. But we don't turn a blind eye to corruption like the Spectres do. We do our best to find and punish any officer who breaks the law. Spectres? They'll never come under that kind of scrutiny.
The galaxy needs people like that. People who do the dirty jobs.
I agree. But they need to be held to a higher standard. They need to be accountable. Saren's out of control. We both know that. But because he's a Spectre, the Council doesn't want to do anything about it.
So he's actually on our side when it comes to
Is that
Saren.
the kind of person this galaxy needs?
But not all Spectres are like Saren.
True. But the potential is always there.
So he actually kind of has a fair point about this. The thing about Spectres that he doesn't like is, say there's an oil refinery full of people in between a Spectre and their objective. If a Spectre feels that it is necessary to blow up the oil refinery and everybody inside in order to achieve that objective or get to it, they're perfectly within rights to do that. And unless the Council revokes their Spectre status, nobody can charge them for what would effectively be considered a war crime. That's kind of the problem that Executor Palin has with these guys.
Tell me about CSEC.
CSEC provides necessary police and security services throughout the Citadel. We're a civilian government agency, though many of our members have had military training.
Yep.
Of course, as the CSEC representative to the Council, I spend most of my time liaising between the two.
Tell me about your investigation into Saren.
Sorry, Commander. I don't make a habit of giving out details about ongoing investigations.
I'll be going now.
Goodbye, Commander.
He's actually a lot more civil than he could be about that. He doesn't trust humans entirely yet, and to be fair, he's actually got a lot of reason not to.
What do you want? Oh, Commander.
This is funny.
Is there something I can do for you?
Relax, Private. This isn't an inspection.
Right, sorry. What can I do for you, Commander?
What can you tell me about the Asari consort?
Well, she's an Asari who works here as... That is, she helps people with things.
You never went to see her, did you, Fredericks?
No, I never did. I couldn't afford it. It costs half a year's credits just to go in and talk to her.
Can you at least tell me where I can find her?
Sure. She's across the bridge from the embassies.
Thanks, kid. Have fun. Try not to get into too much trouble.
I will. Have fun, that is.
Nasana! We'll be talking to her
I
later.
don't have time to talk now. I'm very busy.
Also, she's also going to appear in more than one game. Honestly, I kind of... I'm laughing inwardly at what happens to her in the sequel. I'm not going to spoil that for anybody who wants to know. I want you guys to be able to see that firsthand.
Welcome to the Presidium. Allow me to be your guide.
leads to Citadel Tower. Let's go ahead and head to the tower. Once you head to the tower, a lot of the Citadel actually unlocks and opens up.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
So, this is the greatest space bro we will ever have in the entirety of the Mass Effect trilogy. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the mythical Garrus Vicarian in all his glory.
Sounds like you really want to bring him down.
I don't trust him. Something about him rubs me the wrong way. But he's a Spectre. Everything he touches is classified. I can't find any hard evidence.
I think the Council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
So I'm going to show off this next big scene here, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. After that, our next stream will be getting into a lot of the meat of what we'll have to do on the Citadel before we can explore the galaxy.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
The Geth attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
Bullshit.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
Bullshit!
I saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
If that dock
I
worker
resent
weren't
these
human, you wouldn't have
accusations.
argued against
Nihilus
that.
was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
The mission to Eden Prime was top secret. The only way you could know about the beacon was if you were there.
With Nihilus gone, his files passed on to me. I read the Eden Prime report. I was unimpressed. But what can you expect from a human?
Saren despises humanity. That's why he attacked Eden Prime.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres. He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
Saren's hiding behind his position as a Spectre. You need to open your eyes.
What we need is evidence. So far, we've seen nothing.
We've handed you plenty, but you also haven't let us go after
Commander
more.
Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
You've made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
That mournful music. Yeah, the Council are fucking idiots, and that's going to be a continued staple throughout basically the whole trilogy.
It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason. To exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
God Damn, that escalated quickly.
We need to deal with Saren ourselves.
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
I heard.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
The ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
I thought you said he was a drunken loser.
Couldn't hurt to go talk to him. Just be careful. I wouldn't call him reliable.
You and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way. Innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience. No hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Killing innocents doesn't end wars, it causes them.
I know how the world works, Commander. Sometimes you're forced to make unpleasant decisions. But only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
The guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes, but it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in CSEC now to stop protecting him.
I thought this embassy was supposed to help humans.
Harkin may be human, but he's also an ass. He's had more than his share of chances. If the embassy wasn't protecting him, he would have been fired 15 years ago. CSEC is better off without him.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barla Vaughn's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
All right. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been Savage Hound Dusk. I'll see you guys next time. Head over to YouTube if you want to see all the rest of my previous streams. There's also a Discord that I have that I need to start linking in the description of all of my videos, and I keep forgetting to do it. But if you want to join RevSend, I'm sure Liz can link you to the Discord. I'll see you guys next time.